Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Hey, everybody, come on in here. We've got a breaking news update. Presidential tweet. It's coming in hot, and I thought you'd like to share the moment. So once we get 1,000 people here, maybe 2,000, I think they're piling in. Come on in. We've got to talk about the breaking news presidential tweet about sleepy Joe Biden. It's big news, big news. All right, so as you know, while President Trump was in Japan on foreign soil, he did mention something about sleepy Joe Biden being a low IQ individual, as Kim Jong-un had indicated in a statement. Now, apparently he got some pushback, and the president is responding to the pushback. So I'd like to read you the president's clarification, because apparently some people maybe they misinterpreted what he said. And sometimes when you misinterpret things, you can imagine that they're much worse than they are. So the president, noticing that many people in the public had misinterpreted his comments about Joe Biden, he clarified in this tweet. And as a citizen, I appreciate the clarification. Here it is from Donald J. Trump. And this is fresh. I was actually sticking up for sleepy Joe Biden while on foreign soil. So far, so good. Kim Jong-un called him a, quote, low IQ idiot. And many other things, whereas I related the quote of Chairman Kim as a much softer, quote, low IQ individual. And then the president asks, who could possibly be upset with that? Fair question. I'm happy that the president clarified. He was not, and let me emphasize his clarification. The president did not go on foreign soil and call Joe Biden a low IQ idiot. That's fake news. He's clarified that he went on foreign soil and simply quoted Chairman Kim, but softened it, as a good president would. You know, a good president, a very stable genius, he's not going to go to foreign soil and then insult somebody who's leading in the polls to be president, at least according to the polls. He's not going to do that. So instead, he goes on foreign soil and he softens Kim Jong-un's really, I think, slanderous quote. You know, Kim Jong-un said that Biden is a low IQ idiot. That's harsh. Doesn't that feel harsh to you? I don't think that's something we can stand for. So thankfully, President Trump was the adult in the room. We've got people hurling insults, one person being apparently invisible. Is Joe Biden still campaigning? Has anybody seen Joe Biden? Do we have photographic evidence that he's still campaigning? He's still in the race, right? Okay, I don't know about that. I'll check that later. But in any event, I think it's generous, it's big-hearted, and it's very, I think, mature. It's sort of a leaderly thing to do for this president, to soften Kim Jong-un's harsh statements about Joe Biden from low IQ idiot. I can't stand for that. I'm not going to let Kim Jong-un call the Democratic frontrunner a low IQ idiot. Not on my watch, people. Not on my watch. And I know the president feels the same way. So I too would like to soften it. At worst case scenario, Joe Biden is only a low-Q individual. I say that because of leadership. President Trump has showed us how to interpret Kim Jong-un's speech in a way that doesn't hurt us. My ears feel safer now, right? Don't you feel a little safer? Don't you feel like your ears are not burning anymore? Low IQ idiot, my ears are burning, But now try this on. low IQ individual. It's almost like a lotion to your ears. Low IQ individual. Individual. That's good stuff. So I thought I would just come here and share the moment with you, a moment of great leadership, the kind of president that I think you agree with me. Oh my God, we can never have another president. If there's ever been a reason to re-elect a president that's better than this one, I haven't seen it. If we're being honest, most of the time the news doesn't really affect us too much. It's something that a lot of people can ignore their entire life. They don't even pay attention to the news their whole lives, and they get along just fine. But did we ever know that the news could, instead of being, if it bleeds, it leads? I remember when I was, a kid, that was a saying, if it bleeds, it leads. And it would just be pictures of horrible things all the time. Here's another dead person. Here's something blowing up. Here's a picture of a kitten drowning in a well. And all the news was just horrible, horrible stuff. And then President Trump came. And now the news is mostly imaginary, literally stuff that people are making up. But that little bit that's real has gone from horrible scenes of tragedies and dead people to a form of public comedy that's about as good as I've ever seen. I don't know if you'll ever see a more entertaining president. Here's what you need to know. If you let this one get away in 2020, you're going to be bored for 4 years. And I'm talking seriously bored. Your best hobby will be snatched away from you. This is fun. Now, I think we've gotten to the point where the public and even the pundits who come along last are starting to understand that when they said, hey, this candidate Trump, he's just a person who knows reality television. He's a big old con man, and he's just full of it, and it's all BS, and he's just doing it for the cameras, and it's just for fun, and all that stuff. What they didn't see coming is it turns out those were exactly the skills to be a really good president. Nobody wants to admit that. We would love it that the only skills you need to be a president are, you went to a good school, you got some good experience, you seem to have good character. We'd love it if that's all it took. But I think he's demonstrated fairly conclusively that having mastery of branding and entertainment, being able to, directly influence people's dopamine is pretty useful stuff too. Personally, my afternoon will be far better because of this tweet. And I think I'm going to love it the most when CNN tries to cover it. Or, better yet, doesn't cover it. Because the anti-Trump press is looking for any reason not to change, the attention from bad things and change it onto something that's just clearly funny. And I think every normal person, if you put them alone in a room and nobody else was watching, they would think this was pretty funny. So you're living in a good time, the golden age, when our news is funny things that the president tweeted. That's a pretty good situation. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here and share that with you, and that's all for now.